joined Silent Fear because they were the first group of guys that I knew that was an organized, serious, legitimate band.
Well, first and foremost, it's the chicks. You know, everyone thinks you're gonna get laid when you're on stage, you know.
I just wanted to be in a band so badly. I just could not believe how much I really wanted to be in a band.
Why I joined Silent Fear probably would have been because I had this grandiose vision of being famous.
I saw Silent Fear a couple of times before I joined the band, and I thought it was just the coolest shit in the world. I really did. I was just blown away by it. They had guitar on both sides of the stage, and Chuck was like moshing and headbanging and just blazing fast drums and smoke and lights, and I wanted to do that.
I've been playing drums for a couple of years by myself in the basement of my parents' house.
I had been a roadie for this band called Ubiquitous for a couple of years, and I just could not wait until I started my own band. As soon as I had the money and the transportation and the know-how, and I just got ready and started doing it.
Playing in battles of the bands, writing songs, recording, everything up until that point. I had played for a few years, but it was all just friends and garages and basements.
I don't know, it was weird. I didn't even put much thought into it. It just kind of happened. It's like, Pete was a good friend of mine, started playing guitar. It's like, hey, you want to join a band? Okay. Just kind of happened.
To do that, I was really, really excited when the opportunity was even just hinted at.
I don't know, I think I was looking for a reason to get together with people and play again, or just to play for the first time.
It was like ground zero for my music career. Everything just stemmed off of that, and it was just awesome. It was awesome.
It just kind of happened. And I don't know, I wouldn't change a thing. It was fun. A lot of fun.
Most of the time we got paid in beer, if we got paid at all, but you know, 30 or 40 of your friends would show up and get drunk and mosh, and you felt like you were some big rock star for 45 minutes, and it was awesome. We went into a studio that we couldn't afford. It was an awesome, breathtaking studio. We were all young, inexperienced kids with no recording experience and very little money. I also remember that we needed to stop at my house that morning and pick up my 80 bucks, or else we wouldn't have had enough cash to actually pay for the recording.
The Sleeper Awakes, that was like a really intense punk rock type of recording session. I just remember going in there and like 8 hours just banging out all the songs right away. 6 songs, 8 hours, boom. And you can't really go back and do a lot of re-recording. Everything is pretty much first take.
I remember I just got out of a car accident, and I was injured pretty bad. Neck and back injuries. The day we were going to record, I remember that.
I don't remember a whole lot, actually, about it, other than just going there and rocking out. All the parties we did so many friggin' parties. That's probably why I don't remember much.
The engineer being very patient with us and doing a good job considering what he had to work with. I don't think we had the right gear or the right mindset to do what we were trying to do, but we made the best out of the situation.
I remember it just being a whirlwind of, okay, 1, 2, 3, go, get it down on tape, and try to make the best you can. The recording turned out, there's some mess-ups and some errors and all that, but that's all right, I think. It adds a little bit of character. It's got the real punk rock type of feel to it.
That was interesting. You know, just recording in general is different. You feel professional because you're in this big studio with all these gadgets and stuff.
When we were going there, we were arguing with the sound guy about him wanting to remove the front heads of my bass drums. Having to retune everything because I finally realized I didn't know how to tune my drums.
You know, it was our first time, so it was exciting. It was super exciting. We felt like we were making the next Master of Puppets or Rain and Blood, and we were going to take over the world. And obviously, you know, it was a demo made by a bunch of kids, but it was cool for what it was at the time. And I remember us generally having a blast.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. It was really fun. I liked writing. You know, I did a lot of songwriting. I thought that was really fun and enjoyable. You could really put out a lot on paper.
Yeah, for a bunch of kids that were 121, I'd say it turned out pretty good.
One thing that sticks out is I remember all the band members finally hearing me sing and like taken away from that, like taking a step back and going, wow. So that's what he sounds like, you know.
Any musician who's ever been in a recording studio always remembers that first time you hear your music being played back to you through the most cutting edge, high fidelity, top of the line sound system you've ever heard. And your music never sounds better than it does when you're hearing it blasted back to you in a studio, and it just sounded awesome. And when you listen to the tape now, it doesn't sound anything like that, but at the time it sounded great.
On CD it sounds pretty good though, I have to say. I mean, it wasn't mixed the greatest obviously, but I enjoy listening to it, especially after having a few beers. Sounds even better.
I've always said for solid 18 years now that Tim played the best drum solo I've ever heard.
I had a choice of a couple different people who I wanted to put in the band, and I just chose Tim because he was just the best guy for the job.
Hectic. Hectic. I thought uncoordinated, unpolished. It was like I was constantly trying to find out exactly what type of drummer I wanted to be. I don't know. Crazy, I think, would probably be the best way to describe that type of drumming. My type of drumming then, yeah. I'm just young. Yeah.
We were doing Angel of Death. I remember doing that, and it's just like, wow, this guy can actually pull this off. And yeah, without Tim in that band, that would have been a whole different deal. You know, we wouldn't have been able to expand as much as we had.
It was pretty obvious that Tim was on a slightly higher level than the rest of us, and we were trying our best just to keep up.
This guy could just drum anything, had no problem going fast, faster, and light speed, just no problem. He had the skills to pay the bills.
That when it comes to drumming, I've been incredibly spoiled. I've played with some really, really good drummers, and that's why now when I play with some really, really good drummers, they probably feel like I don't give them the time of day, but after starting off with Tim, everybody else that's kind of been the benchmark, the gold standard that I've measured everybody up against. So if you can't like play, you know, Rain and Blood, South of Heaven, you know, beat for beat, I'm not impressed.
Pete's guitar playing is really good too. I mean, he's amazing. He keeps playing. He's been playing for probably 30 years now, 25.
I always thought he was a really great guitar player. He had a very solid rhythm, and he was one of the few people that I ever met that never wanted to play a solo.
My guitar playing, I started playing guitar in 1987. That's a long time ago. I think Lincoln was still president.
Well, I'm obviously a fan of Pete's guitar playing because 20 years later I'm in what I think is my 4th band with Pete.
I was highly influenced by bands like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, that kind of stuff.
I watched them right from the beginning, so that's pretty cool to see someone, you know, start to finish or start to now, you know, and all the guitars he has and all the different stuff he's done with the guitar, playing different bands, and, you know, he pretty much started the whole band thing. So without knowing him, I don't even know if I would have ended up in a band.
Pete is very precise metal rhythm guitar player. That's what he was when we were in Silent Fear. Since then he's progressed into just an all-around very good guitar player, but back in those days when it came to playing metal rhythm guitar, he was as good as anybody. And another thing that I really appreciate about Pete's guitar playing is that he's just very professional. He does his homework, he shows up prepared. When it's time to practice, or it's time to shoot a video, or it's time to get in the studio, whatever we had to do, Pete was just ready to go, and you didn't have to worry about him.
I practiced religiously every night. I must have practiced 3 hours a night, every night for years and years before I finally felt able enough to join a band.
His vision of what a guitar player was supposed to be even back then, as this lead guitarist. But there was another world of guitar playing, and I think Pete opened it up for him. I always liked the way he played. I thought he was a very talented guitar player. He was fortunate to play with him. So.
He was a true vocalist, always showing up with a notebook full of lyrics. You know, to me that's the sign of a really good lyricist, you know. Anything that would happen, boom, he's in the notebook writing down lyrics. He'd show up with fresh songs all the time.
I did enjoy pulling off a good scream here and there every now and again. It'd come out of the blue, it seemed, at times, and that was always neat. I thought that was pretty cool.
I always liked the fact that he was always trying to search for a sound. He's a really good vocalist. He knew how to write melodies, he knew how to sing, he sang with passion. I think a good stage presence is an underestimation.
Well, you're never really satisfied, you know, with vocals. It's just like any musician, they're always looking to be better.
What I like about Chuck's vocals is that he's always saying something. His vocals have meaning. He wasn't just talking about blood and guts like a lot of the other metal bands were at the time. Chuck really had some deep, meaningful vocals. If it didn't mean something to him, he wouldn't sing it.
I enjoyed singing and trying to become a better singer. Through the years, actually began singing a little more than screaming and shouting so much.
Chuck was just an awesome front man. You know, Chuck would get on stage and just entertain people. To this day, I still don't have the confidence that Chuck had when he was stepping on stage 20 years ago. He never seemed nervous. He was moshing and he was headbanging and he was just into the music, and he did a good job of getting the audience and the fans into the music, and he tried to do his own thing with his vocals and be, you know, a little unique and a little bit different and just try to be himself.
You know, I just enjoyed trying to, you know, make music. It was a lot of fun.
When I first met him, I really did. I thought he had potential to be even better, but I thought when I first met him, he's a fantastic bass player.
Crack knows his stuff. I've known this guy now 20 years, and his bass playing has just come amazing. It's just, he knows theory now, he knows scales, he knows slapping, popping, everything on the bass this guy can do. Crack's skills on bass are impressive.
He really had a lot of talent, and he still does, but back then I was really blown away. It's like, I thought he was going to take the band to the next level, help us out. So it was one of the few areas I think that we were a little weak in. Went through like 4 bass players.
Crack was always fun to rock out with too. He's just an interesting fellow, where, you know, like you were saying, he's very comedic and makes you laugh.
I could play bass pretty well when I joined Silent Fear, but looking back on it, I wish I would have focused a little bit more on what the function of bass should have been in that band, instead of just copying all the rhythm guitar parts riff for riff. Those guys, Pete and Doug, were playing so fast and so precise, and the songs were just riff after riff after riff after riff, that my main focus was to keep up and just memorize it all for one and just stay on the same page. And I think I did a pretty good job with that, but I was so focused on the speed and the velocity of the music and just the sheer amount of riffs that I don't think I ever really sat back and analyzed. Is that really what I should be doing on the bass? Is just doing what the other guys did before me, or just copying what they did? Or should I really like break down these songs and write some actual solid bass rhythm parts for it? So I felt like my bass playing was pretty good at the time, and when I went back now all these years later to relearn these songs, it's been hard. The songs they're fast and they're tight and they're complicated, so I'm pretty proud I was able to play that kind of stuff when I was 17 years old. And it's not exactly the style I play anymore, but it's something that was fun and I was proud of it, and I still am.
I always knew it was going to happen. In the back of my head, I always thought it would anyway, because why wouldn't it? I mean, shit, what the fuck, why not? I had a good time, having a good time. It was very enjoyable to jam again. I think it was a great idea. I'm glad we didn't try and do a show, because that wasn't really a great idea. But I'm glad we got together to practice and stuff, and you know, if we do this again, you know, as a show or whatever, I'd be a little more ready and prepared, and I think we can pull it off.
This will go down as one of the fondest memories I have of just a long time, so I'm extremely happy I did it. I'm extremely happy to be here. I thank Pete for telling me to do it. So that's my feelings of the reunion. It was great. Hopefully we'll do it again.
I'm so happy the guys were able to come out, and I had this brainstorm. It's been 20 years. I wanted to do a 20-year reunion, and I was actually able to get the band together, and we've just been having a great time, sitting around, having beers, reminiscing, playing some old songs. It's just been wonderful. I'm very happy that it all went down this way.
Again, no regrets. It's a lot of fun. It's great to catch up with everyone and shoot the shit and see, you know, share the footage and pictures and all that fun shit. So it's it makes me feel young again, which is good. You know, we're all creeping up on 40 after all.
I don't know if anybody cares about this, but that we're reuniting, but I don't think it matters. I think that we should do this for us, and if other people do care and get excited about it, well, that'll just make it that much more fun. But none of us are professional musicians, and nobody's paying their mortgage off of playing music. And we've all done a lot of different things over the years musically, and this is just something that's fun. And I had fun jamming these songs last night, and I think we're gonna jam some more later, and I'm sure that'll be fun. And I think when we get the word out there and start doing stuff, people will be interested, but even if they're not, I still think it's worthwhile, and I'm glad we did it.